Also,
Yeah.
dude, great
All
to
right.
meet you. I'm glad. Thanks for letting me do your podcast team. It was really
Josh,
fun.
this is Brad.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. It gets stuck
thanks.
in my head now, and I don't know if that's narcissistic or a tip with my hat to how great you made the theme song. But yeah,
We go with our own music. We go through that conversation all the time.
All the time. You're making your way up to the stage. Wait, you're sitting at home, so what could this be? Is the interview part of the show? Is the interview part is the show? I said the interview part is the show. Just multiplied by 3. 3-headed interview. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our very special guest for the day, Mr. Josh Johnson.
They're applauding. They are most
Applauding.
certainly applauding. They are listening live, and they are applauding.
Everyone's live.
Thank you so much for being here. This is amazing for doing our show. We're going to explain how the show works in a minute. We're very lucky to have Josh here with all of your incredible credits, your recent specials, and you're recently touring the country with Trevor Noah. We're stoked to have you, and we're going to triple team you. That's the bottom line. It's going to be consensual, but you're on triple teamed with Handsome Naked, and that's the bottom line. That's what's going to happen. So what we're going to do is ask you rounds of questions. Okay? Each round, we're each going to ask a question, but you only have to answer one. If you answer Brad's question, it's going to be the easiest one. Then you have to sing it. He'll accompany you, and you'll have to sing your answer. And then if you don't want to answer that, then you'll have to answer one of me or Chucho's questions. That's really it, and that's going to go round by round. That's kind of how getting triple teamed works. Is there any questions?
We don't care if there are. Let's go.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
This is round 1. My question, and you'll hear all 3 questions before you have to pick. My question would be, do you have a favorite T-shirt?
God, your questions.
Chucho.
I'm going to say something that you're embarrassed that you don't understand.
Okay. And my first one would be Goofy movie or All Dogs Go to Heaven, and why, very specifically.
That's such an easy question.
It's not. You think that it is, but you're wrong. Anyway.
quick thing. Is it only if I answer Brad's question that I have to sing it?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Mine will always
Okay.
be real low balls, like real easy ones, but you have to sing them. That's the hit.
And that's the only
Gotcha.
thing we're clarifying for you, okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So, yeah,
to
the rest of them
answer-
we'll catch in an email.
To answer Chuko's question,
Okay. Good.
I feel embarrassed that I don't understand when math gets hard. So there's the basic math that we all learned, right? Like the 4 big bad symbols, that plus sign, that multiplication sign, that division sign, that minus sign. I can do all of those.
Okay.
But once we get into like not even deep algebra, but like once we get into anything that has the name that is long, like if it's a name for math that's longer than the word math, I don't know if I can do it.
Geometry, trigonometry.
I'm 100% there.
Division.
It's all the trees.
Yeah, and I know that if I understood those things, I would understand the building blocks of logic more. Because if you look at people who are really, really good at math, there are other things that spills into that they're incredible at when it comes to just straight logic. Mm-hmm. And I think the way that I get lost in those arguments when it comes to math, like they're not arguments, but just those math problems, are the ways I get lost when social arguments get a little bit more complicated, because then you might as well be speaking math to me. Like if we're talking economics and then you're like, but what's terrible about derivatives, and I'm like, you're gonna need to let me tap someone in.
Somebody in. I'm going to 4 factorial my way out of this one.
It's
See,
also
but Josh,
Oh,
the grass isn't always greener though, because like for me, math, like I just kind of like sort of made sense in my head, but I couldn't show my work. I couldn't explain to anyone what I did. I just kind of knew how to follow whatever happened and get the answer. So I like would always get taken points off on my homework and stuff because I didn't show my work, and I was like, I just did it. I can talk you through it maybe or show you, but I can't really like do anything. And so
it doesn't
like,
make any goddamn sense, Chucho.
But what I'm saying is like if you know something but you don't know like how to explain it, that can be equally as frustrating.
It can, but at least you know it. Like so okay. I've been in rooms before where I've been like, wow, I'm the only one in here who's not an idiot. Now, I couldn't explain back all the reasons to those people why I felt like they were idiots and I wasn't.
I'm sure you could if you sat down and thought about it.
Maybe if it would have been impossible to do without getting punched.
But you could have shown your work in a way that I can't show my work if someone's like, here, Eric, here's solve for the 3 factors on the one side of the equation and then leave one side theoretical. I'll be like,
yeah,
no way.
Yeah, I mean, also showing your work this is the thing to me at least about showing your work in school, especially in math. When you have to do that in a test, when you have to walk back your reasoning in a test, like essays are a really good example. So when you write an essay, you have to have all of these like quoted expert bibliograph
Test
on the back
sources and
end,
stuff,
and you have to have all this stuff where an expert shares your opinion. But I don't need an expert to share my opinion because I'm right. Why did I have to go find people to just also be right with me? And
what's the point of it?
The problem with that logic is that if you're the first to be right about something, you're gonna just sound wrong. So you're
gonna sound crazy.
Yeah, you look at Copernicus, it's like no one else was saying what he was saying about the world revolving around the sun and not the sun revolving around it. So there was no way to show his work. There was no way to like reference experts. The experts were wrong. So the whole thing about showing your work is just to prove to the teacher you're not lying when you say you understand it. But if you understand it, then like you're golden.
That's true. And okay. All right.
Okay, let's jump into round 2.
That was a really technical round 1. I liked it.
I had like 3 follow-ups, but I'm going to save them. Okay, my question for round 2 was, how do you feel about sports? Get specific.
I'm going to go with something foolish that you're scared of.
Okay, my question, what's more sexually interesting to you? Okay, all right. A young shirtless John Madden, okay? A young shirtless John Madden, or a Martha Stewart sitting in a bowl of simmering beef, a Martha Stewart, like a real Martha Stew. Like which of those? And you don't have to have sex with either of them. Understand that. Which one of those 2 things is more sexually interesting to you? What gets your juices flowing? A young, handsome, as handsome as he ever was, John Madden.
If you pick mine, you have to sing.
Like when he was a tight end, John Madden.
Yeah. Like he was kind of, he was still built up, and maybe he had his chest oiled up, and he was on the beach or something.
That is, I really think that's so nasty that I can't finish my quesadilla. And I haven't eaten all day. And I've been trying to eat bites in between your questions.
Is it the Martha Stewart part, or is it the John Madden part?
And this isn't me answering your question, by the way. I don't want to answer the question. I want you to know what you've done to me. I want you to know what it's like to talk to you sometimes, because you have taken 2 things I've never thought about. 4 things, really, because I don't think about chili that often. You've taken 4 things that I never think about, and you mixed them all together and made the nastiest thought salad that I've ever had the displeasure of experiencing.
I really like thought salad.
Can we quote you on the nastiest thought salad you've ever thought of?
Yeah, sure.
You've ever experienced?
Do whatever it takes for you to never ask me anything like that again.
Oh, there's going to be a lot more where that came from, brother.
No one who thinks like you is going to heaven. All right, you are not a good person.
It's too late. It's already happening, man.
That's so.
It's only going to get worse too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I'm going to look for the weirdest ones.
So, which
now.
question would you like to pick?
I'd like to answer Chucho's question again, just to spite.
I'm
clean sweep.
So anyway, can you ask it one more time just so we can reset, so I can be in a different place in my head than I am now.
Then it's the Martha Stewart thing that's catching in your brain, I think.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, I definitely could do that if I knew what I had asked.
You said something about being embarrassed about something I'm afraid I'm embarrassed of.
Oh, yeah. What is something stupid that you're scared of, or irrational that you're scared of?
Your irrational fears, if you will.
Yeah, look up irrational fears. Something good on Spotify.
I think that maybe I am extra careful when I'm walking in Brooklyn and passing under some of the brownstones, and I have to get close to those window AC units. I'm very scared one's just going to fall on me because here's the thing. I don't think there should be more laws. I don't. But people are just installing them themselves willy-nilly and just putting like a brick inside on the top of it to hold it still. And so you're literally a brick slipping away from a whole AC unit falling on you, and even worse than killing you, not killing you. And now you just messed up the rest of your life and you don't even have a good story. Like
this isn't irrational at all. This is a totally rational
this is
fear.
super rational.
I mean, this is irrational.
How
many times has that happened?
Yeah, but if you watch my
3
walking pattern, whenever I'm like, you'll see me. I've
seen your walking
waves.
pattern.
Are you
day.
You're serpentining your way
waves.
down the?
Yeah,
I like
because
that.
I don't even want the chance. You know?
I get that.
But also the dripping water is gross. I don't want it dripping on me. Usually when the AC's running, it's dripping water all over me. Nah, I don't need that in my life.
Nah, I don't need the dripping.
Is way worse than the dripping water is 60 pounds that was holding the dripping water falling on you. If you think it's nasty when the water hits you, it is so much nastier when the whole AC unit has pushed your head in. And
that
now
contains all the water,
It's,
so you still
it's nastier
wet.
when they have to clean your bedpan every day for a week in the hospital because you're knocked unconscious and in a coma.
No.
and you are legit peeing dirty AC water because it's in your system.
Okay, the next round of our game will be round 3. My question for round 3 would be, who's your biggest influence in comedy? And you sing it.
And I'm going to say, what is the best roast of you a comedian has ever done? That one that hit you to the core, that really got you.
Okay. And mine is an SAT-style analogy question. So you'll have to answer, but you'll also have... I like this camera angle change. You'll have to answer, but you'll also have to explain your work. So... and we already talked about what explaining your work looks like. That's never fun. But, okay, the question is, toe is to butt as nipple is to what? Toe is to butt as nipple is to what? And explain.
Okay, I'm going to go with Chucho's question again, just because
Clean,
this is...
sweet.
Everything that you asked me is so upsetting to my senses. It's like,
yay! Hurrah, hurrah!
Thank you. You know,
day.
Josh, I feel like I've been alone in this battle for the 8 years we've been together, where everyone
These are just things I want to know.
Yeah,
These are
everyone's
just
all like,
things.
Eric's the best. We love him. And I'm like, what do you see in this man?
Everything that they need.
This gives Chucho a lot of power to based on what questions he's going to ask, because Eric's we're probably not going to get answered, and he's probably not going to sing. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Chucho, you can really pick what you hold all the power right now. This is the fun of the game.
You can pick where the next
but
10 minutes go.
I have good questions, so there's no words.
Okay.
So
Toe
what's
is to
that?
butt. Toe is to butt as nipples are to what?
The roast
Toe?
that hits you to your core.
Toe. Okay, go ahead.
I can't even hear Eric anymore.
You can sing about your biggest influence in comedy.
The most hurtful roast that stuck with me ever since it was said was Jack Knight. Jack Knight told me that I seemed like the first black school shooter. it hurt because I knew
my
exactly
God.
what he meant. It's like I'm weird enough, and like I spend enough time alone, and like I look like I've written a manifesto.
The worst roasts are the ones that you can kind of acknowledge.
Oh man, that is painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I've never
Thank
been
you
the
for
same.
sharing.
Did you have one back at him or no? Or was that one of those walk off, like drop the mic walk off roasts moments?
No, I mean I shot him. So
Did you
He's
go to
not.
the school he currently attended and shot him and everybody?
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, we're
Eric, breaking the pattern of the show. Do you have one of those? Do you have a roast that hurt you?
I'm trying to
good
think of
question.
any good roast. What was Shane Torres had a really good one for us that I'm trying to remember.
He did. I can't remember what he said. It was I don't remember what he said.
Oh God, that was.
We'll have to look
Let
it
me.
up.
I'll think. One will come to me, Chucho, before the end of the show, and I'll
I will
interrupt and let
say
you know.
when Calvin and Calvin's roasted us a lot, but Calvin has recently said
Calvin Evans.
he said he's like, you guys didn't live up to any expectations because no one had expectations for you. Nobody cared or was coming to you and
He
going,
also
you guys
said
are
this
next.
was a good one. I like you guys as much as I can like you.
Yeah.
Two
Which is
really-
pretty good.
really
No,
good roasts for us.
I'm sure there's been better roasts of me in my life. One will come to me, and I will interrupt the show for it.
Okay, let's go to. I think we have time for one more, and then the final bonus
Great.
question.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
Okay, so my last question would be: when's the last time you left the house?
today.
Oh, wait, you'd have to sing it, but
Oh, okay. Today. What were the other two?
Haven't heard the other question.
no, but I
Chucho,
got one
you
out
go
of him
first.
though.
Give the story of your worst bomb on a stand-up set.
This is one no one's answered yet that I'm really hoping someone will. Which Pokemon do you think would make the sexiest human, and would that be male, female, or otherwise?
I feel like you are trying to get somebody Me Too'd in a way that no one understands yet. Like
And people
20
answer his questions.
In
Like-
2032, someone's like, remember
Yeah,
when that
someone's
guy
gonna be
fucking
like,
talked about
hey,
Pokemon like that?
Remember when he talked about Pikachu in a way that wasn't just objectifying? It was like also a bit.
You're
like,
telling me you don't think
creepy.
Mewtwo would be hot as like a chick with like I don't know.
I'm saying
That's just me. That's
Jigglypuff,
my
man.
vision.
Jigglypuff all night.
That's my vision of what. I'm not saying that's everyone's.
I'm
but-
into him squatty. I like Squirtle.
Yeah,
Ooh.
you.
So okay, so that's what I'm saying. So that's how you would answer, and you'd have to
That's
explain.
the only Pokemon I know. That's
And
I
like,
know I've
give
already-
me some description of the secondary sex characteristics of the version of this that you come up with. I need you to like paint a picture for me, Josh.
This is like
Do you
way
understand what I need from
weirder
you?
than anything that I normally like the places that you want me to go. I'm not even that person. Like I don't even know how to be what you want me to be.
You don't have to answer this question.
No,
This is one of three.
I don't. But for you to even ask it means that you thought there was a possibility, and that's
do.
why I'm trying to let you know now. I'm like,
I'll tell
hey,
you what.
just for when we hang out later, for when you and I are just hanging out, you need to know that like I'm not all your bandwidth on like any of this. And it's honestly a side of you that I thought existed, but I'd never seen it before. And
Yeah,
so a lot of things are coming to light right now.
That's what being an artist is. You know, you got to be vulnerable and. You know,
Also, you talk about it like it's a side of Eric, and I feel like this is just what Eric brings to the table. It's what I love him for. So you're going to answer Chucho's question, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I mean, I did.
You already
answer
sang mine,
Yours in the slightest of ways. One word song.
Counted it. I mean, most of my
But,
answers are one word.
you
so you're
should.
good.
You have to do it again. I think you should have to do it again if that's going to be your
No,
official
he's answering my question because I'm doing a clean sweep today.
Okay.
Clean sweep.
So
Worst
yeah,
bomb.
when back in the day, my first official comedy festival that I ever went to was in New Orleans, and it was a true disaster. It was so the whole thing was a bit insane, but it was pretty bad, and like the mic didn't work on the first show of the first night, and it was like an omen for the rest of the festival. And so the really bad bomb isn't even. I actually had a good show at that show where the mic didn't work. But just to color it a bit, they had a little bit of industry there. Like I think some people from Comedy Central, some people from what used to be Bridgetown, some people from like lots of different festivals and TV networks, and they forgot to pick them up at the airport. So that's how these people started their journey at this festival, was just being at the airport together, like all huddled together, like who's going to pick us up. Then no one gave them a program. No one bothered to make a program of the festival, so they didn't know what shows were happening when. So they just happened to come to my show, and I was like, oh, this is what a godsend. Like, they came to my show when I had a good set, when the mic was busted, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm also like a little less than 2 years in, so I shouldn't have even had a good set when you think about it, when you think about what time in comedy doing stand-up is, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so then my second show is right after my first, and I go to my second show, and man, this was a horrible night overall. But I go to my second show. It's in a brewery, right? And the Comedy Central people that I met there were like, "Hey, good set," you know, blah blah blah. And like, I don't even know if one of the women is still there, but she was kind of like opening up about her annoyance, right? Like she had like, "Oh yeah, we were just at the airport for like we called like, are you coming?" And they're like, "Coming where?" It was insane. So then she was like, "Where's your next show? We'll just come to wherever your next show is because we don't know where the shows are." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sounds great." Because in my head, I'm like, I'm killing it. I'm about to have another good set. I'm, you know, hour special. Here I come. You know, just big dreams, right? So we get to the brewery. It's very cold. It's too cold for an audience, and that's exactly where the audience is next to the beer in the refrigerator of the brewery.
Yes.
Because the actual like drinking area is too small. So it is a good problem to have that too many people showed up to where they had to build the stage and everything in the, you know, where all the beer is being kept. But I saw two different lists that said that I was first, and I'm not like, I don't know. I mean, you guys know me. I'm not like a diva or anything. I don't care if you bump me. Even if you bump me, you're probably right. Like, you know, maybe you do need to go before me. But I saw two lists that said that I was going first. And so I am preparing. And then after the host does his set, he brings up this like local guy, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I got bumped, whatever. And I check back with the what do you call it?
Promoter.
Like the sound tech booth.
Oh,
yeah. Just to be like, hey, is that like, am I after this person? He was like, yeah, this is just a last minute. Some local got to go up, whatever. This dude goes up, and it was such an affront to the senses. So basically, he was like, hey, do you guys like impressions? And then everyone was like, yeah. Oh. And then he was like, well, here's a song. And then he like rapped about science, which wasn't an impression of anything.
No.
And then he goes, do you guys like impressions? And then they were like, yeah. And he does this 3 more times. So he doesn't just bump me. He runs the light by like 3 sets. And so then he walks half the room, including the Comedy Central people, the Bridgetown, like everyone just started walking out. Half of the brewery audience walked out. Oh. Then I go up. And I do what I thought was the most natural stand-up thing to do, which was roast him for being so bad that half the room... It was a light roast at best. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even... Yeah. I wasn't going in on him as a person or his looks or anything. I was just sort of like, did anybody else feel held hostage for the last 20 minutes? You know, like, whatever, right? And it turns out that everyone that stayed were his friends. Mm-hmm. So then I bombed way harder than he did.
Because they're like,
dude, great set, man. And then,
I mean, I wish that people would have walked out on me. It would have been more noise.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a good one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I ask good questions.
That's a Shyamalan-esque turn there at the end with the audience.
That's oh my gosh, that's terrifying. So good. Okay,
last round.
Yeah, so we got one final question that we asked to all of our guests. And honestly, it's been, what we've all been thinking about since this whole podcast started here. So the final question is, fuck, marry, kill, handsome, naked.
Okay. I think I would have to kill Eric 3 times.
You gotta fuck someone and marry someone too,
No, I
but
know,
I take the kill. I take the kill.
Oh no, he is killing
Wait,
you.
but
3
you have
times.
to explain why,
Yes.
though.
Oh, yeah.
So
And
tell
how.
me exactly why you want to kill me and how.
Because in the scenario where, in a scenario where you are gonna marry each person, because I feel like that's what the fucking and the marry lead to. Is like you're thinking about how you would marry each person, and then you'd end up killing one of them, right? If you were married to them. So I feel
Very
like
true.
for a long relationship, I feel like Brad makes the most sense because I
He
think
does
that
for everyone.
yeah,
Everyone says that. We
Yeah.
either get fucked or killed, both me and
Yeah.
Chucho.
yeah, yeah. And then I don't know. I feel like Chucho just has good vibes, so probably fuck.
Yeah.
And then I do feel like of no fault of your own, you would make me kill you, Eric. like it wouldn't even be. I wouldn't even mean to. You know those Lifetime movies where
Yep.
like
Moments
the
of
couple's
passion, like a-
arguing.
yep.
And then one of them pushes the other, and they start falling back real slow, and then their head hits the coffee table, and then they're paralyzed. I feel like that would be how it wouldn't be like me with an axe, like excited to do it.
Right.
It would be me like holding my mouth, just
Yep, like a moment of passion, like a heat of the moment crime. Listen, I listen to a lot of true crime, and there's a lot of spousal killing that's kind of border on accident. I could see what you're talking about. I would kill me too if I were you in this environment.
Oh, that's good to know.
So
What's weird
I'll take
about that is you are able to.
I was
figure
imagining
out
being
in your
married to
head-
you to answer that question.
No, but you said like I'm the right person to kill in this environment, like for you. So that means it has nothing to do or it has everything to do with the guest. So you could put yourself in each guest's personal viewpoint and why they would kill you or fuck you.
Yeah, I can understand why everyone would want to kill me. Are you kidding me?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that should have been like a generalization, but you were able to pinpoint. No, for you specifically, I see why you would be able to fuck me. Other people, it could go either way, but you should kill me.
Oh, well, thanks for being here. Where can the people find you? What do you want to plug? Who knows?
Plug
when this will
anything
come
you
out?
want.
Talk about your
Yeah,
stuff.
so if you're looking for me on Instagram, I'm at Josh Johnson Comedy. On Facebook, I'm Josh J Comedy. On Twitter, I'm at Josh Johnson. And YouTube, I'm Josh Johnson Comedy. I also have a podcast called The Josh Johnson Show that is everywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything. I tell stories about my life. I talk about comedy with my buddy Logan Nielsen. And
Who's
we're,
also on an episode of this show?
Yeah. And we are having a great time making it. So hope you have a good time listening to it.
And Josh, I'll just send you all my other questions that I have via email, or I can call you and we can talk about it like any other time because I got a bunch more questions.
I like I'm almost shaking. I know you can't see me. But if you were to do that, the next time that I see you, there would be hands. And it's
High
only
fives?
it's only because I'd be seeing red. It's not because I want to do any harm to you at all. It's just
Yeah,
sometimes
understood.
the pictures that you create in my mind are not
Were
fair
upsetting.
or right, and
They were upsetting.
there's nothing. I feel like they've written about what you do to people in psychology books.
I guess then Chucho and I will be written about at some point, which is exciting.
Hell yeah.
I can't believe you've handled this much exposure. This is wild.
Yeah, I get scared. That don't mean I'm not a man. I can justify my fears. I can live with them. Scared of a baby sliding before it got teeth. Looks like a tiny gremlin who's trying to eat me. Speaking of babies, scared of babies.